Wherever you are in the world, welcome to another edition of Jerry's Take on China. And of course, I am Jerry. Today I'm going to visit the GBA where I live. Unfortunately, there are still some people in the UK who think they hold some sense of authority over Hong Kong. Chris Patten is constantly in the news criticizing China for its actions. Ian Duncan Smith is another one who still thinks the British Parliament has some kind of influence or control in Hong Kong. They don't. Benedict Rogers and Luke de Pulford are not in the Parliament, but they write books and appear as media experts, getting funded by people like the NED to create problems in the region. Because of the propaganda put out by these people and then amplified in Western media, there is a school of thought that suggests China is taking over Hong Kong, or China is bad in some way for Hong Kong. They couldn't be more wrong. If you hold this view, ask yourself this question: what's happened in Macau? And the answer you'll find is nothing negative has happened there. And that's because the British have never controlled it or had much of a presence there. The USA have never had a presence there. Now, if you really want to know what's going on in Hong Kong and the rest of the Greater Bay Area, instead of asking US-influenced politicians, internet personalities, and biased media, take a look at China's media. I've said this before, and I have no doubt I'll say it again many times. I can't find a lie in China's media. That doesn't mean it tells all the truth. It ignores some issues entirely, I accept that. But when it does publish anything, it does so with 100% truth and accuracy, and it's all verifiable. I've yet to be proven wrong on this. Even an op-ed in Chinese media, and I know this because I've written them, needs to be verified with links to sources or citations before they will print it. So today I'm linking a report from Nanfeng Media Group's GD Today in southern China. It isn't about Hong Kong specifically, it's about the GBA, the Greater Bay Area. I hope to interview a couple of business leaders in the GBA over the coming days, and they will give some insights into working in the region. But let's look at some statistics. And when you know them, you'll see why China isn't taking over Hong Kong. That's because Hong Kong has actively become an important part in the region that we know as the GBA. In fact, Hong Kong is taking over parts of China. Two major events have occurred in recent days. There was a global investment conference in Hong Kong, and almost all the world's most important bankers, financiers, and some economists came to it. Why would they come? If the Japanese-owned Financial Times is to be believed, it's to see what problems they need to overcome. But if the truth is known, it's because they know they can't manage their affairs in a world where China and Hong Kong are not an integral part of the financial chain. As well as that, some of the financiers who attended the conference in Hong Kong stepped across the dividing line and attended another one, a GBA Business Environment and Investment Conference in Guangzhou. This is international financiers coming to China. This isn't China asking them to come, nor is it China going to them to ask for investments. These are very important bankers and investors looking for opportunities where they know there are great opportunities. Now, how do they know that there are great opportunities in China, or the GBA specifically? It's easy. They read trustworthy reports, the kind of information that does find its way into Chinese media. And here are some of the things they learn when they do. China is not collapsing. Shock. The opposite is true. It's growing 3 times faster than the USA and much faster than any European country, and the UK, which is decreasing. This is a fact. Whatever you read about the challenges, the International Monetary Fund has just upgraded its forecast from 5 to 5.4%. That's an 8% increase based on a $17 trillion economy. The GBA has turned itself from an industrial powerhouse into a financial hub. In international terms, Hong Kong is number 1 in the world financial hubs, something that couldn't happen under a regime of oppression. But Shenzhen is number 12 and Guangzhou is number 29. The GBA is number 1 in terms of the number of financial institutions based here. The amount of balance in the bank deposits and in loans, it's also number 1. It's number 1 in the world of in publicly listed companies too. But let's put finances aside for a moment and tell you a little about the GBA. More than 13% of the world's new energy vehicles are made in the GBA, and an even higher number of them are being driven around the region. 30% of all mobile phones are made here, 50% of all 5G equipment, and 70% of the entire supply of commercial drones in the world are made here. The GDP of the region is $1.9 trillion and would rank at number 10. And if predictions are to be believed, in 2 years it will be higher than several G7 countries. There are more than 200 universities in the region. 5 of them are listed in the top 70 globally, and almost 600,000 students graduate every year. So not only is it a successful place now, it's geared up and online to become an even more successful place in the future. And one more thing, if you are from Hong Kong or Macau and you come to work in the GBA, your personal tax rate is capped at 15%. Hong Kong is an integral part of the GBA and will remain so long after the 50-year one country, two systems is way past its shelf life. I do wish that Benedict, Luke, and the others could see it. Unfortunately, they either can't because they are sanctioned by China for telling lies, or they don't want to know the inconvenient truth that a visit to this region would show them. I would suggest anyone who has any doubts, come and have a look for yourself. China is not hiding anything. You can see it. Thanks once again for watching Jerry's Take on China, and I hope to catch you again soon. Bye for now.